Ah, Dead Space, Dead Space, Dead Space. May you forever live in my memory rent-free as one of the greatest examples of combining two genres into one and mixing formulas from such amazing games like Silent Hill and Resident Evil. I've already done all sorts of talking about Dead Space 2 with my last video, so I'll keep it short and sweet this time around. You're familiar with the game and the story, and how difficult the game can get at certain moments, especially without any of your gear upgraded in the slightest. Then I thought about it for a bit. With the amount of times that there are sharp objects placed in different rooms, such as spikes or even necromorph bodies, there is an interesting experiment to be explored here. Can you beat Dead Space 2 using just Kinesis? This seems like a silly question considering there are a lot of moments in the game where you're forced to shoot and can't possibly get around it. However, I am fully willing to test this theory all for your guys' entertainment. I know this video has been long awaited, so I apologize deeply. Hopefully you guys enjoy this challenge that definitely brought me damn near the brink of destruction. There are some rules to this, and since this is my first challenge video, I'm gonna go just a tad bit easy on myself. The rules are as follows. Rule number 1, no stomping unless it's for a corpse or a crate. That means I can't stomp if an enemy gets too close to me. Number 2, I can't melee enemies either. Rule number 3, no guns or tools. Rule number 4, stasis is allowed. Since it's a fair feature, it only makes sense to use it if I get surrounded. And finally, rule number 5, dying is allowed. It's gonna happen a lot, so I'm not gonna be insane and restart the fucking game every time I die. I'll be here forever. God, took you long enough. For this challenge, I decided to go with normal difficulty, only because I feel like this isn't really all that difficult, and I want to try my best to not get frustrated at certain points. Also, this is bullshit, but apparently you can't get rid of your only gun in your inventory. Once you have it, you have it. There's no dropping it or storing it in the safe, which led to multiple mistakes on my end when I was trying to kinesis things and accidentally shot enemies, forcing me to restart the checkpoint. Starting off strong in Chapter 1, I decided to just skip the entire introduction since we don't physically kill any enemies until we enter the kinetic operations room. Here, Isaac is forced to use kinesis in order to defend himself. At first, I thought that this would be easy as fuck, considering the multiple times the game gives you the option to launch a sharp object into a necromorph. The strategy here at first was to A, find something large or sharp to use against a necro, and B, use the necro's bladed arms to then kill the rest of them. This strategy actually worked for the beginning of the game where I hilariously ruined this poor bastard's life by cutting his limbs off using a microscope.
Are you a doctor?
Don't worry though, he didn't have to see what happened to his body. This is where we obtain our first legitimate weapon, but I'm not going to be using it. Instead, I used the microscope to create some distance between me and the first necromorph. I didn't think it was doing any damage, to be honest, until the necromorph suddenly lost a leg. This is where the ultimate play began. I knew as long as I could find something heavy and or something fast, I could very easily dismember enemies without having to use my melee or guns. However, I got way ahead of myself because immediately after that, I met a huge problem. This swinging necromorph? Yeah, this fucking asshole? He can't be killed with anything besides the plasma cutter. I've tested this theory, using every single item I could find within the room, anything heavy or sharp, but nothing damaged him in any fucking way. Hell, I even managed to find a fucking necroblade, and it still did nothing to him. Look at this shit. What the fuck? Is he just invincible or something? I even tried to put physics objects in his way in hopes that he would somehow, I don't know, glitch and fucking die, but it didn't work. I even tried to run back for one of the wheelchairs, and it despawned once I entered the room. That's great. So unfortunately, I guess I already lost this damn challenge. Consider this one penalty against me. If there is a way past this asshole without shooting him, I'd love to know. Then I got a little stumped in the Steam jump scare room since 3 necromorphs rush you in a small cluttered waiting room. I accidentally shot my gun here, so I just let them eat my head off, praying fucking mantis style. This is also where I discovered the best weapon to use for this challenge, the wheelchair. Ironic that I used it to stop a necromorph from walking. It's powerful as fuck and normally only takes 2 hits to destroy a limb. Not to mention they knock back enemies quite a ways, giving you breathing room. Soon enough we meet Strauss and have to survive the emergency lockdown. As far to my knowledge, the necromorphs are pretty easy here so long as you use a wheelchair. I don't know what it is, but the wheelchair seems to be the most effective weapon by far, knocking enemies back upon every successful hit. If you aim for their limbs, it'll eventually break those off too, giving you a chance to grab one of their spikes and farm the fuck out of that. It's a really great strategy, but you have to be fast. After this, we finally arrived to the stasis room where we unlock stasis for the first time. This part wasn't too hard once I used the Kinesis exploit to basically rapid fire him with a large metal fucking object. Snuck my way through and came to a real problem on this run, the pukers. These disgusting fucks will shoot acidic toxic barf all over Isaac, and it does massive damage. Using Kinesis on these two seemed fruitless, as they just ended up cornering me. I was one tap away from falling to my death when I managed to run past them, call the elevator, and proceed to the next cutscene. Thank fuck. Unfortunately, I was presented with yet another scripted shooting segment. Are you fucking kidding me? I tried mashing F as soon as it let me aim, and Isaac wouldn't even attempt to Kinesis anything. Which doesn't make sense, but I'll get to that later on. Another point against me, I guess. Shortly after this, we are introduced to the store, and therefore, the suit. This will make the game so much easier considering my rig is already upgraded from the last time I played. Yeah, I'm doing this challenge on a New Game Plus, and I know it's not really meant to be done that way. I'm not really trying to impress anybody, I'm trying to be more informative than anything. And, honestly, I just wanted to test this out for myself. Then we come to our first boss fight, the Executioner, or whatever he's called. Might as well call him pain in the ass fuckbutt. He's wicked fast, and unfortunately, this is yet another forced gunfight. I looked around for a long time and I couldn't find a damn thing to launch at the beast, and the boxes weren't powerful enough. I had no choice but to shoot again. Now we have to fight our way to the tram. Now, obviously, I'm only going to talk about the combat situations that I struggled the most with. If I sit here and show you every single fight, every single move, this video would be way too long and I'd fall asleep halfway through it. Just trust that I'm not cheating here, and you'll receive a full playthrough of unedited footage proving that I tried my best to not fire a gun. Then we come to the apartment complex where all hell has broken loose. Innocent people are dying, but Isaac is just pushing on through. Here it becomes a little easier to use Kinesis in the environment with so many available physics objects around. This is also where we are introduced to stalkers, or leapers, I think? I've read that they're called stalkers, but I think leaper is more fitting considering, you know, they fucking leap. Anyways, I accidentally killed him using the body on the bench. All you do is launch it at him and he dies. Well, that's easy enough. The next couple of parts were pretty smooth as well, especially in the laundry room. By the way, it took me years to discover this little Easter egg in this game, and it's beyond disturbing. When I first discovered it from a famous YouTube video, I didn't even know what to think. If you don't know, this washing machine is acting wild, but if you listen closely, you can hear the desperate cries of what sounds like a child. I'll let you do the math. The imagery isn't even there, but the sound convinces you enough and just sends chills down my spine. It's a very, very disturbing moment. The laundry room? I'll admit, it's tough. You have barely any time to prep your attacks here, so you'll have to look around and find the heaviest item in the room to use. Afterwards, we're just about to board the tram when the exploders appear. Again, very easy as long as you keep your distance. I actually found out something crazy about the exploders that I'll mention later on. Don't let me forget. Boarding the tram seemed to be a bit tough for me. There were plenty of objects to use, but I found these Necromorphs to be way too fucking fast for me to keep up with. I realized I could just run right past them, and that's exactly what I did. Soon there's an onslaught of enemies that storms each tram car. This was a really hard segment, but once I realized how I could exploit the pukers, I took advantage and proceeded. It was then that I was forced yet again to shoot my gun, because why would they let you use Kinesis on the Necromorphs and not the Brute? Makes perfect sense to me. That's what I'd say if I were a fucking idiot. Another point for me. Then we're introduced to the pack. Yeah, the pack. Like a pack of human waste. I struggled here too, and accidentally shot my gun in the madness. I tried using multiple different items around me to kill the pack, but nothing seemed definitive, and I just kept dying. Finally, I noticed this weird fucking polygon thing. I have no idea what it is, but it does heavy damage to the pack. You just throw that son of a bitch to the kid's face at 100,000 miles per hour, and you're good to go. Oh my god. Oh, so it's possible. Okay. At first, I had questioned what to do with this room. When the glass breaks at the end of the hallway, the vacuum of space will suck me deep. I thought to myself, can I open the emergency gate by throwing an object at the shutoff switch? The answer is yes. Yes, you can. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, that is actually such a huge relief. After fighting off the rest of those abominations, mosey our way past the anti-gravity room, through more apartments, and eventually to the Church of Unitology. Right before you can get inside the elevator, Isaac is forced to fight a few Necromorphs first. I guess it's like grabbed by the ghoulies, to be honest. There are a set number of enemies you must defeat before you can exit the room, but the game doesn't tell you that. A veteran Dead Space 2 player like me would know this by now, but at the time that the game first came out, I died a lot in this room. Just gotta be patient with the process and constantly watch your back, and you'll be able to proceed further. The Church of Unitology wasn't bad at all, except for one part in particular. Immediately after being forced to shoot yet again, you're then attacked by a literal horde of Necromorphs. I ran around like Bobby Boucher at halftime, but I couldn't find any objects to interact with using Kinesis. I discovered a neat mechanic where you can stasis an exploder the moment you trigger it, and then as the Necromorphs charge you, the exploder will essentially kamikaze itself and everything around it. And I won't have to shoot my gun. Unfortunately, only 2 exploders spawn here, and you need to time that move perfectly or else you're gonna get fucked up. I'm sure there's a way to beat this without firing a shot, but I found myself caving in here. Yeah, see, that's fucking bullshit. They do force you to use your gun at that part. Because you have to in order to fucking kill anybody. Then, of course, we meet Dana, the unitologist that tricked Isaac into coming here in the first place. Fortunately for us, Dana has a severe case of diarrhea from the mouth, so due to her not being able to shut the fuck up, the gunship comes in and saves us. Only to then be greeted by this big tub of fuck, which we have to shoot. I really can't believe after all this time, you'd think there would be more of an opportunity to use Kinesis at certain cinematic moments like this, but there just isn't. You can smash the F key on your keyboard until it's fucking powder and it won't do diddly dick. You're also forced to shoot the gas canisters when the Tormentor grabs onto you when you're both latched onto the ship. I can't grab and throw them with Kinesis, of course not. Another fuck up that, as far as I know, isn't possible without a gun. Pushing forward, we're up to the first pregnant Necromorph. They're so much easier to kill when using physics objects as opposed to bullets, only due to the fact that their stomachs won't expose their young if you keep using Kinesis on them repetitively. They'll be stun locked in an animation, and eventually they'll just fall over. I managed to get through to the next room before the second wave of leapers arrived, but I was too late. One of them snuck in with me, and once again caused me to panic and shoot my gun. Gee, thanks you fucking jerk. Isn't that fair? Now I have to restart the checkpoint again. You might as well kill me so I can get some enjoyment out of this. What the fuck is its problem? He's taunting me or something. Get the bug out of your ass and kill me! Finally. Jesus. However, I've concluded that this specific segment can be beat by using only Kinesis. You just have to time it better than I did. Moving on, we're at the SIS. At this part, I totally forgot I was doing this challenge and just shot one of the damn things and got frustrated at myself for forgetting. Back to the checkpoint I go. Then, of course, we have the secondary stalker fight, which, to be honest, this really was not that hard. There were enough spikes for me to use to be able to collect claws from the fallen stalkers. All you have to do is stand in one spot and basically farm the fuck out of the claws and you'll be all set. And we meet Ellie, which honestly this part's super simple. Just run past all the Necromorphs. They despawn after the cutscene plays.
Oh, hey! You stay back. You want to talk? You talk from there.
Now we're on to the kindergarten, which is a horrifying place full of horrifying beings. Babies. I'm kidding, babies aren't bad. But these ones explode into a million fucking pieces, so giving them a wide berth is mandatory. Just use the cribs at this part and put those little fuckers to sleep. Jesus Christ. Okay, listen. I gotta watch what I say, okay, because this part's kind of fucked up. Now we're in the auditorium, aka my biggest high school PTSD trigger. Here we have to face the dark Necromorphs, starting with, what else? A puker. God, I fucking hate these things. They just spew chunks at you until you die. They're like a flamethrower. You just can't dodge them. I tried to use Kinesis to kill him, but look at how fucking ridiculously strong he is. This made me nervous to encounter the army of dark Necromorphs later on, which I'll get to eventually. I can't kill dark Necromorphs. Oh my god! Okay. It's possible, but holy fuck, it takes forever. As for the auditorium fight, I had to redo it because my anxiety caused me to pull the trigger once again. This is probably going to happen a lot, just so you know. Pro gamer tip, use the metal ladder at the back of the auditorium stage. It might be at an awkward angle when you hold it with Kinesis, but it one-taps the pack like an 18-wheeler hitting a gummy bear. You can keep them at bay with this for a short while, but ultimately I ended up fleeing for the door. Unbeknownst to me, the pack followed me into the next room, which I personally didn't think was possible. Cheap bastards. I thought they were gonna let me get away. God damn it. Just as I thought I was doomed, I squirmed away and escaped the kindergarten. Phew. And then we reach one of the hardest points in this whole fucking challenge. The first brute. This motherfucker took me so long to kill using just Kinesis. After I took out his leg, he started launching some sort of explosive projectile on me. I figured I could easily use this to launch back at him and kill him fast. That wasn't the case. For some reason, these big balls of fucking shit do nothing to him. He just shrugs it off, almost as if to say, "Duh, you're so stupid, idiot." Fuck you, you fucking stupid brute. Every single time I launched one of his projectiles at him, it was the equivalent of bare hand slapping the hot roof of a car. Then there was this point in the fight where he seemed like he was doing damage to himself, but I stood here for a bit and it just seemed pointless. After launching shit at him for like a half hour, I decided to just punch him to death. I didn't even think that would work. So you're telling me I can punch him to fucking death, but I can't Kinesis him to death? What the fuck? But rules are rules, so I had to restart anyway. Finally, I connected the dots and used my big brain. I remembered that during this brute fight, Ellie is directly above you shooting Necromorphs. Most of the time, the corpse will burst into a million pieces, but if you're accurate enough, you can actually grab their blades. Using these and my stasis, I killed the brute in under 2 minutes. Isn't it cool that that even exists as an option in a game this old? I hated how long it took me to get past him here, but once I did, it was so fucking great, and I took a huge sigh of relief. But the sigh turns into a groan quickly, because I forgot about the fucking Guardians. They'll kill you if you get too close, so ranged weaponry is recommended. Unfortunately, I'm role-playing and my plasma cutter doesn't work, so I'm stuck with Kinesis. There isn't a single object in this room to help you, and since the Guardian's tentacles have such small hitboxes, it takes forever to kill them. What's worse is the fact that I had just given him the final blow and I died to one of the stupid sacks that exploded under my feet. Like, are you kidding me? I need to get that last... No! I got it! But I can't... But I got the last fucking tentacle. These challenges make the game way harder for sure, and you aren't given a choice. Back to back, you fight the goddamn brute, and then have to face this thing. It's like getting your balls punched versus getting your balls slapped. Finally, I killed the fucking thing. Fucking Christ. Look at my health. Look at this. This is ridiculous. They give you nothing to use as in terms of kinetic weaponry here. I entered a room that famously has 2 enemies in it that usually I can't dodge or avoid, and with my health in the red, I was a little nervous to go into the room. But utilizing the methods I used before, I was able to do it without taking any damage. That's what I'm supposed to use. In fact, this is better than Callisto because... Yeah, we're not doing a Callisto protocol rant right now. I'm kinda over it. The next part involves reattaching the docking pod to the solar array. This is actually a cakewalk considering any object you launch at the thruster will activate it, so I was able to get away with no shooting. The elevator ride? Easy. Just stock up on health beforehand and stand near the door. You'll probably get hit a couple of times by the tripods, but as long as you survive the attack, you're golden. After this, I have to get past this stupid laser part, which I honestly had no idea how to do. I tried using the Kinesis trick from earlier, but for some reason it doesn't work now? Oh, why, what? Makes sense, I guess. What the fuck? It worked before. Why is it bending me over and riding me now? Okay, let me try again. Maybe I just didn't hit it directly enough. Here it comes. Ah, what? No, fuck. Why do the rules just switch up like that, god damn it? Well, anyways, I somehow got past it, but I really don't understand why or how. Both lasers exploded on each side, which usually means the glass will break. This time, though, it didn't so much as crack. I don't know, I don't care. Moving on. This next part... Oh my god, what a joke. There isn't a single helpful object in this room, and there's 2 fucking stalkers chasing after me constantly. After a thorough and quick search, I came up with zilch. I tried to bring an object into the room with me, and nope, despawns. Then I concocted a plan. I would try to lure them over to the far door, stasis the fuck out of them, and then run back to hack the terminal. Unfortunately, I just wasn't quick enough, and it resulted in my imminent death. I did this twice in a row, and neither time did I even come close to escaping. I chose to shoot them, because it didn't seem there was another option. I'm sure if I moved my hand quicker, I probably could have hacked the terminal in time, but who knows? It's probably doable. The thing that hurts me the most is this is the only part on the entire chapter that I fucked up on. Although I did get troubled on the solar arrays for a moment, but basically the strat I used here was to stasis the nest below and move the mirror in between the times I would get hit. I might not have killed the nest, but that's not necessarily the challenge here. The flying segment doesn't require shooting, so we move straight onto the transport hub. The transport hub, I'm not gonna lie, was definitely a challenge. You're bombarded by an army of necromorphs, and without the use of your gun, it can prove to be really frustrating. If you persevere and just try to keep moving, you should be okay. Now we have to get the tram working in order to get to the government sector. This entire segment was nerve-wracking, and I ended up clutching the fight completely by accident, merely by panicking. Oh, I clutched it. As soon as that's done, the tram gets blocked by something. Then we move on to the hardest part of this entire run, probably. While in this cargo room, you'll have to face a shit ton of stalkers, and on top of that, a guardian that's fucking camping by the elevator. Even if you stasis him, you're dead instantly. There's nothing to use on him after fighting all those cocksucking stalkers, so I caved again. I looked around as much as I could, and I didn't find jack shit to use on him besides my plasma cutter. You might be thinking, why not use one of the cyst pustules to launch at the Guardian? Great idea, but one run I didn't even kill the cysts, and they died anyway once I found the Guardian, even though I didn't even set them off. From my point of view, it just didn't seem passable, so I ended up shooting. Then you come to a mini-boss, one of the same tripods that attacked us from earlier in the elevator. Honestly, don't even give that fucking piece of shit a minute of your time and focus your energy on blowing up the canister. You'll make it. Look, he even wanted to come with me to escape, but unfortunately humans and necromorphs never made the bestest of friends. Come on! No, you're gonna get left behind. I'm sorry, I gotta go. Now we're on the Ishimura, and holy fuck. I have to talk about this. For the smaller segments that I struggled with, nothing comes close to when you first enter the Ishimura. You are tasked with fighting 2 fucking brutes, one right after another, or you can choose to fight an army of necromorphs instead if you kill the 2 brutes fast enough. Does that even make sense? That's like saying I need to smoke meth before I smoke heroin. I tried everything to my disposal, and as it turns out, remember those shitballs that he threw at me earlier? Yeah, those apparently do damage to him now. What? What the fuck? Oh my god, it's possible. So how the fuck do I kill both of them? The second brute here is definitely way easier. This is gonna sound complicated, but basically you can guide the other necromorphs into the brute's path at this part, and he'll just kill them by running over them. Damn! Now that's handy. Then you can simply run back across the long stretch of the ship, stasis the brute a gazillion fucking times, hack the terminal, and escape. Nothing felt better than to finish this part on my first try. And it's possible! Oh my god! That makes up for everything that I've encountered so far. I really thought there was no way past that unless I shot a bullet. Ugh. And with that, I have some very, very unfortunate news. Guys, please forgive me. There's been a lot of backed up projects on the channel that Brian and I want to get into, and I'm still prepping for the holidays and such. So for now, unfortunately, I have to divide this into 2 parts. If you want to unsubscribe, I'd ask for you to please reconsider, as good things take time. My thoughts so far on the challenge. Well, it's really fun. This challenge has shown me that I don't know the game as well as I had thought, but it teaches you how to complete a situation if you don't want to use any resources whatsoever. I think we can conclude that obviously some parts will require you to shoot, but if not for these scripted segments, I feel like it would definitely be possible. Hopefully you guys come back for part 2, which won't take me long to finish. I just have to get rid of some old footage I still have. What are some other challenges you've been interested in? Let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to try some out. Don't worry, the second part will be fun and will end our already false theory. Thanks guys for watching and being patient. I apologize again. It's just, you can only do so much. Alright, it's that time of the video where I beg and plead for you guys to like and subscribe for more content. If you're feeling dangerous, you can hit that bell too to get notifications the second we upload a video. It really helps us out, and thanks a lot for the support, guys.